What's up, friends? In the shop today, the most adorable little snowblower you ever seen. Toro 521 came to us DOA. She got no gas tank. Fuel line, I think it literally has a chunk of pencil in it. It has a carburetor, that's all I know about that. We're going to dig into her today, see if we can't get her running, because we already have a buyer for this little unit. We were doing the full rebuild on this big 1028. You'll see something about that one. It's got a blown up Briggs. And I was working on the Tecumseh 6 horsepower project. When I put all that aside, we're going to figure out we can get this thing chooching and get her on down the road. It's Saturday in Jersey. We're expecting a foot of snow on Wednesday, so the demand for snarl blowers, the old digital leaders, has been high. So let's start digging into this unit. We don't have to bother with the sniff test because no gasoline there to sniff. So I guess let's see if she's got spark. Alrighty, looks like a relatively newer plug. First, let's just see if she has spark, then we'll see what the spark plug actually looks like. Find a good spot to ground out. That might be too rusty. Oh, just shocked myself because my hand was touching the cover. So I can confirm it has spark. I'll do it again so you can see it. What an idiot. Let's get a bigger screwdriver in here. Yeah, if you're leaning on the thing when you do this, you're gonna feel the spark. Did you see that? I know you heard it. There we go. Let's just see what the spark plug looks like. Oh, my little boot came off. I lost my little... well, plug's not terrible, but it's a little dark. So we will brass brush it. And we will gap it. It's actually a little bit light. It should be right around 30. It's about 28. So we'll give it up a titch. Back down. Oh, let's see now. Perfect. Right at turdy towel. Slam dance this guy back in. Now we have to assume this thing sat for a long time, and the fuel just turned into absolute... Does motor move? Maybe we'll try to tighten up that motor mount. The fuel turned into chunks, and they took the tank off to clean it and lost it. Let's dig into the carb to confirm, but I'll bet you that's all full of gunk. Thankfully, we have a tank that's going to fit this unit, we think, off of Eric's wall of shame. So the lack of tank's not going to be too much of an issue. We'll slam that on there. These old 80's Toros, they just don't die. Occasionally, oh, they need someone to bring some of the life back. They never die. Let me get this rod off. All my grip mats are on other projects. We're using refillable mugs from the county fair for our bits and bobs today. Let's see about popping this guy off. And we'll let him just sort of hang out here so that we can jimmy jam this cover out of the way. Whoo, buddy buck, would you look at that carb? Let's get y'all in there. There's a fair amount of what I like to call orange Loctite and Mother Earth Gaia, but everything else looks pretty good. That's not seized, choke's not seized. Let's get it popped off, and yeah, this is the old style that's adjustable. We'll get it cleaned out, and assuming nothing's broken or missing, this thing will be singing within a half hour. Alrighty, there, all the hardware's off. Pull this dirty bird out and try to leave this linkage right there. Which hole was that in? Middle hole, right? Yeah, middle hole. Middle hole, methinks. Let's get her over to the bench. Oh yeah, bud. Got our work cut out for us, I think. All right, let's dig into this bad boy. I'm actually a little bit embarrassed about how dirty the shop is. Usually it's bad, but it's not this bad. We got about 4 projects going. Last night, Eric and I had to get that yard machine that we'd been working on. We had to get it finally fixed up and out the door. I did do a video on how to fix the drive on that, so if you wanted to see that, if you know what I'm talking about, it'll be linked up in the corner. I'm gonna start out by at least getting the big chunks off. You want to go ahead and cover your inlet and outlet when you do this. No reason blowing that shmoo. I mean, there are chunks. If I was going to name this carburetor, I'd name her Neglected Nancy. It's been many years since she got any love, methinks. It's good enough for government work. And we'll wipe down the big chunks. Just realized I forgot to check the Earl. Somebody remind me to do that. Okay. Gonna need a container for our bits and bobs. Yeah, it's already looking a little crusty in there. I think we all know what we're gonna find. Oh my gosh, did you see that? Well, there's your problem. Oh, this is one of the crustier ones I've seen in a while. Can you see all that? That's gross. Now this would have been a great candidate for a rebuild kit, but I don't have one. We thought we had more time before we found a buyer, but snow's coming. And I wouldn't want anyone to be without a snar blower, so let's get to work. We can do it. No big deal, right? I found out the other day there's a hole in my bucket and I keep forgetting to figure out where, so somewhere in that end, I keep leaking fluid all over the place. I don't even know if I can get this pin out. Oh, I mean, look at the friggin' strawberry jam in there. Yeah, the pins are seized a little bit. Since I don't have a rebuild kit, I gotta take this rubber gasket off, put that aside, because we're gonna have to try to reuse it. I'm not gonna try to reuse it, we are reusing it. Oh shoot. Look at what we found. So the needle must have been seized inside and the float broke away from the needle. So we are gonna have to get a carb rebuild kit for this. I'll probably try to use the same carb body, though honestly these new carbs are 12 bucks. All right, pause this project here. I'm gonna go hit up the parts department and we'll have to revisit this maybe in a few days. Alrighty friends, here's the truth and I'm gonna tell you. $18, brand new carburetor. I've used this company before. They send you everything. New primer bulb, a totally useless fuel filter, brand new choke knob, brand new fuel shutoff valve, brand new throttle thing, gasket, new fuel line, new primer line, the little clips. My point is, it pains me that this is the truth, but the truth of the matter is that you can't, I mean, if the carb is easily cleaned, clean it, but if it's as bad as that last one was, don't bother beating your head against the wall. 18 bucks, I mean, we're gonna have this snar blower up and running. The only bummer is these new ones don't have the adjustable jets. Boogity buck, I'll tell you what, there's actually quite a lot to do before we get this thing running down the road. So I am gonna bring you guys in. The whole fuel system needs to be redone. It had no tank when we got it. The line was packed full of what looks like mud wasps, I think, got in there. So I'm assuming they jimmy jammed the tank off there, probably to put it on a running unit, and then some kind of critter, I don't know, whatever. So we gotta run fuel line. Additionally, we have this new tank. It is a Tecumseh tank, but it's off a much larger unit, so we're gonna have to do some dancing with the bracketry. We've already got these head bolts out because I was messing with the bracket. So I think we'll pull this very rusty, probably gonna snap off, definitely gonna snap off 5/16. Yeah, that's gonna break. And then we'll be able to get the shield off to easily run the fuel line. Maybe not. Oh, would you look at that? The little guy's gonna dance on out for us. That's good, because this is a beautiful machine. I have a buyer for it. It is no longer yesterday. When I was talking about the carbs earlier, that was yesterday. The snow came and went. So I was out all morning plowing in the Jeep. And now here we are. Let's get a bucket or something. Oh, this video's going on for so long. I've actually freed up a couple grip mats so we can. Oh goodness. Yeah, this thing's been sitting for a couple weeks now while I was waiting to get the time to finish it. Will this dance right out now? It should. Certainly should. Come on. It's good to know one of the starter bolts is missing. I didn't do that. But the starter is sort of pinching this thing. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. And now there's a clear path right there, kind of in between where the head and the block are. There's a little spot where you would run the new fuel line. Here's a little trick. Run a fuel line. If it's in a real tight space and you have to go a long way and you're finding that you can't get it to push straight, take something like one of Wally World's finest arrows, poke it through from the other side, and then you can actually squish the fuel line on the tip there, and that'll pull it right through. There we go. Got your fuel line in there, and it's coming out the other side. Now we're gonna put the carb on. Should I change this one? It's dirty, but it looks good. It's still ductile. I believe that's the right term. Let's clean up this old carb gasket. Is she gonna come off in one piece? That'd be pretty nice. Okay, good enough for government work. Let's get our new carb on so that we can get our new line on so we can measure where to cut the shut-off valve. Alrighty friends, here we are. Ready to go. Put the new gasket on. I think I remember which hole the governor went to on the throttle plate. Oh. I think I remember something about middle hole. Flush blows. Let's get our fuel line put on. Oh, you know what? It comes with this particular kit. You stay there. These little clippies, they're pretty darn useless, but since we are going to be selling this unit, we'll put our best foot forward. I can't imagine it does anything. They don't put very much pressure on it. Get that fuel line on there. Yeah, if I can compress the clippy with my hands, it's probably not doing very much, but there it goes. Alrighty, that is that tightened down. Okay. Yep. Let's reconnect our primer line. It's not clogged, right? No, it's is it? Maybe we should replace the primer line as well. If we're gonna replace the primer line, we might as well replace the primer bulb because it came with a new one. So we'll fish this old crusty dusty yellow one out of there. Here's the new one they provided. Slip that guy on there. Weasel this one down. Oh, what are the odds this one just shows up someplace we needed it to be without having to coerce it? Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, second shot. New primer bulb just pops in. Like I said, pops in. There we go. Ow! Note to self, punching snowblower hurt. That sounded an awful lot like, I hope it worked. There's just a little bit of play, but as long as it works, no one's gonna complain about a little play. Scoot this guy around. That's probably out of frame, but take my word for it, I scooted him around. All right, we are now gonna make the bold and hopefully not premature decision to put our carb cover back on it. Like, there's nothing I can adjust on this carb, so I might as well just get it on there. Right? Yeah, that's hooked up. That's hooked up. That's hooked up. Good to go. Let's get... Nope, that was not 9/16. Half an inch. It's my favorite thing about working on blowers. I don't know why, but the standard for blowers, at least the good name ones, Toro, Simplicity, Arians, they are all always in good old fractions. None of that metric BS. And as I've pointed out before, got a real good Canadian buddy who always likes to point out that the metric just makes more sense. And I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing, Dave. It makes more sense. I just don't care. I like me some fractions. And it's real nice to get to work with. When I work on blowers, there's 4 wrenches and like 5 sockets. Gotta have that 5 steents in there. We're gonna use the new knobs. I actually don't usually do this, but usually I use the old ones because I prefer that look, but this one's getting sold to somebody I know. I don't want them to think I'm giving them a bad deal. So we will push all the good stuff on there. There we go. Choking. We're throttling. We're priming. Let's get to the other side and get a tank on here. So here's the situation. Here is the gas tank bracket that was on it. It was held on by these 2 head bolts. Here's one of those head spacers. Put that over there before I lose it, because I will lose it. And here's the one that comes with the bigger tank. I think this tank was off a chipper. So we can either go that way or that way. But this doesn't line up with the old head bolts. I thought about just using the one up here, but it's like a little cattywampus with this. So what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this corner out and we're gonna drill a hole for that one. I think that's the best thing to do. And then it'll sit right about here. It is gonna be a little bit in the way of the pull start. But I mean, at a certain point, you can only do what you can do, right? We may also move this starter cable to the other side of this oil fill so that it's a little happier. I don't even know if the starter works on this. I never checked it. So let's start by zonking this corner out, and we'll try to figure out where we have to drill that. Probably going to drill a pretty big hole so that I don't have to do too much measuring. All right, friends, there have been a couple iterations of this plan, but I think we finally have it. We ran into the issue that this middle head bolt here was going to be sticking up. So we cut the bolt, we cut the spacer, and we shaved a bit of the head off, and I think we're going to be able to clear it. Now, that's one problem solved, I think. Let's see. Nope, I think we have to come a little bit more off the top there. But anyway, first I tried drilling a hole there. I couldn't find a bit big enough. So it's going to be like that. Not teabag at the end of the day. Let's get this other head bolt in. And where's that third head bolt? There she goes. That should hold her down. Matter of fact, that's fine. Now, here's the big question. I'd love to move this line so it's not so kinked in there, so it kind of came around there a little more naturally. Do you think there's any chance we get these off without breaking them? I'm thinking maybe we just don't mess with it. I'll give it one shot. Looks like they're little 1/4-inch guys. All right. Oh my goodness. That one's not even remotely seized. This one. Huh. That one I can dang near spin out by hand. not teabag. Wouldn't have guessed that. Okay, that side's up. Oh, perfect. I tell you, I'm buying a lotto ticket tonight with that kind of luck. How's that gonna work? It is perfect. Yeah, down like that. That'll be perfect. C'est magnifique. Alright, this is coming together now. I really hate myself for that terrible, unnecessary chunk I took out. That's what happens when you rush. I'm anxious to get this thing outside and get it in the snow. Let's see. Gotta put this cover back on. Bring you guys down here so you can see a little better. Well, friends, here's the truth, and I'm going to tell you. The camera seems to have gotten a mind of its own, decided to shut off for no real reason, still had battery left, just sort of decided to take a little nap, so I'm not really sure how much you saw, but here's where we're at. We got the plate all squared away so that it's sitting flush on there. This is on, and then we had a little bit of an issue that I didn't even realize until now. This is the outlet on the tank. They're usually right here. So this line wasn't going to be long enough, but we're going to put a fuel shutoff in anyway. So that's actually going to be perfect to use a little bit of the end of the old line that was clear. You can see through it, that didn't have mud wasps in it. So I'm going to do that. And then you know what, bud? It's time to see if she'll bark. So let me get that connected. I got to actually take it off to put that plate back on. And we'll see if she'll bark. What do you say? All right, friends. She's filled up. Hit the primer bulb a couple times. Hear that working, beautiful. Full choke. Key is on. Throttle up. Let's see if she'll bark. What happened there? Let's see if she'll let right back off. Well, not too bad. I didn't have anything except for 2-foot-high snow mounds because I already plowed today for it to eat it. I realized I was overloading it, but did just fine. She dug right in. I mean, monster of a little machine. Now here's I'm gonna go on a little rant right now. So it's running fine. Well, you heard it has a little mist. Now granted, it's only been running for 3 minutes. I bet if I let it get some heat into it, maybe that would go away. It was doing a little bit of searching. Some of that could be the governor spring tension. But a lot of times I can adjust that out right over here. My Simplicity that I was using this morning. You guys, actually, I uploaded the video for this one this morning. Right up in here, you're not gonna be able to see, but is that little adjustment screw. When I came out this morning, it was a hell of a lot colder than when I tuned this thing a few days ago. It was about 20 Dungarees Frankenstein this morning. I don't know what that is in non-American units, but it was pretty cold. It's probably like -10 in Dungarees Chelsea. I don't know. Not the point. The point was I tuned this thing on a 50-degree day, So it was missing a little bit, so I went under there and I gave it a little bit of the good stuff and had it running like a top. You can't do that on these new carbs. Now, I don't know, they say it's for emissions, but really, they don't want me to have this 30-year-old unit. You know, rant over, whatever. You guys know exactly where I'm going for this. I'm a huge fan of these adjustable carbs, which is why, and I wanted to make this clear, if this was my own machine, I would have taken the time to clean this one and keep the adjustable one on there. And I am keeping this carb. I'm going to clean it up and it'll go on something. But since I'm selling that one, and it's unlikely the new owner is going to have much interest in tuning it, let alone potentially even the knowledge to do it. So I just bought, you know, it was making more sense with the $18 jammer on there. But I'm keeping this one. This is a little treasure. I may find someone with an ultrasonic tank. Or I think Berriman's sells that paint can full of stuff you can leave it in overnight. But these adjustable, where are they? Adjustable jets are gold. I really wish they fit in the newer carbs, but I mean, that was intentional. So that's about all there is to it on this one. If you got any questions, comments. I can't believe we didn't even have to tighten the belts. I will say it does move slow, but it's a tiny unit. Looks like these tires probably need air, right? Yeah, tires need air. No big deal. Load the tires up, I'll load it on the Jeep, deliver it mañana. So like I said, questions, comments on this bad boy right here, leave them down there in the squawk box as always. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Let's just do another walk around. I'm not going to put the video on. I'll do the music. It's just going to be a walk around to this guy. I love the way these old